Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskritya
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswati Vyasam
Tato Jayamudiraye
Tato Jayam Udiraye
Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu
Ashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya
Bhagavate Uttama Shloke
Bhavate Uttamasloke
Bhaktir Bhavati Nayishtike
Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Krishnaya Vasudevaya
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Devaki Nandanaya Cha
Nanda Gopakumaraya
Nanda Gopa Kumaraya
Govindaya Namo Namaha
Govindaya Namo Namaha.
Hare Krishna everyone. We'll continue the third third canto, first chapter from where we left. We covered up to 35th verse. Remember, uh, Vidura is talking to, Vidura is talking to Uddhava, and he was inquiring about the Yadu dynasty, how Krishna and his children and his wives and his fathers, mothers, they were all doing. That was what he inquired. What Ugrasena, Samba, Yudhana, Akrura, Devaki, Aniruddha, children. Now, after that, he also inquires about Kurus. That is going to be discussed now. Apisvidanye cha nijatmadaivam
Apisved Anye Cha Nijatmadevam
ananya vritya samanuvarteye
Ananya
Hridhi
अनन्यभृत्या समनुव्रताये
kasachyatmajacharudeshna
हृदीकसत्यात्मजचारुदेष्णः
gadadaya swasti charanti saumya.
Gada
गदादया स्वस्ति चरन्ति सौम्या.
Yeah, please read translation.
O sober one, others such as Shridika, Charudeshna, Gada, and the son of Satyabhama, who accept Lord Sri Krishna as the soul of the self and thus follow his path without deviation, are they well?
Hmm. He is inquiring about children of Lord. Api swadobhyam vijayachyutabhyam
Api Swadurbhyam Vijachyudhabhyam
dharme na dharma paripati setum
धर्मेण धर्मा परिपाति सेतुम्.
duryodhanotapyata sabhayam
Duryodhanotapyatayat sabhaya
samrajalakshmya vijayanuvritya.
Samrajalakshmya Vijayamupratya.
Yeah, please read.
Also, let me inquire whether Maharaj Yudhishthira is now maintaining the kingdom according to religious principles and with respect for the path of religion. Formerly, Duryodhana was burning with envy because Yudhishthira was being protected by the arms of Krishna and Arjuna as if they were his own arms.
Yeah. So now he's inquiring about Maharaj Yudhishthira, Pandavas, from the family Pandavas. He's asking whether, after the war is over, whether he's maintaining the kingdom nicely. And he remembers about Duryodhana's envy. Because of Duryodhana's envy, the whole war happened. About 60 crore people were led to war and got killed because of one person's envy. Imagine the power of envy, right?
Yes, yes.
So we have to be cautious. These anarthas, they are so powerful. Because of one person's envy, the whole world suffered. Even in today's world, could be one person's anartha, the whole world can suffer if they are in the leadership position. That's what we can see from this.
Yeah, I think that's what happened with Hitler, right? He started the entire world.
Yeah, Hitler, in the Second World War. Yeah,
Yes.
same thing, today's world also, there is so much hatred and envy between countries, right?
Yes.
That can lead to wars. And these people, how long they live, it's just a matter of 60, 70 years and then they die. But the impact of the war and the killing is going to be in history books for a long time to come. Yeah, and his envy is because he's protected by Krishna, right? And Arjuna. Please read.
Maharaja Yudhishthira was the emblem of religion. When he was ruling his kingdom with the help of Lord Krishna and Arjuna, the opulence of his kingdom surpassed all imaginations of the opulence of the kingdom of heaven. His actual arms were Lord Krishna and Arjuna, and thus he surpassed everyone's opulence. Duryodhana, being envious of this opulence, planned so many schemes to put Yudhishthira into difficulty. And at last, the battle of Kurukshetra was brought about.
Yeah, he tried so many means from the very childhood, but because of the protection of Lord Krishna, they were never harmed. And after the battle of Kurukshetra, Maharaj is now able to legitimately become the ruler. किं वा कृताघे स्वघम् अच्छमर्षि
किं वा कृताघे स्वागम् अत्यमसि
भीमो हि वदीर्घतमां तममां व्यमुञ्चात्
भीमो हि वा दीर्घात्मा व्यमाम्नाच्चात्
यस्याङ्घ्रिपातं रणभुर्नसेः
यस्याङ्गृहीपातं रणभूर्नसेः
मार्गं गदायाश्चरतो विचित्रम्
मार्गां गदायाश्चरतो विचित्रम्.
Yeah. Please tell me whether the unconquerable Bhima, who is like a cobra, has released his long cherished anger upon the sinners. The field of battle could not tolerate even the wonderful playing of his club when he stepped on the path. For Bhima, after going through the disrobing of Draupadi and the gambling match and the poisonous cake he was fed and the lack house, he was just fuming with anger like a cobra, right? Cobra, if you ever try to invoke her, cobra will not forget it, right? It's very vengeant and always tries to get its opportunity to attack the attacker. So Bhima is also, like very much angry and is just looking for the opportunity before the war. And when the opportunity came, he doesn't want to give, he want to fully take advantage of it. So he's just asking, even though the war is over and the war is already won, He is just asking about how, and Vidura knows that fact, but still he want to ask how did Bhima did in the war, just to um, get his opinion on that. Yeah, can you read, Prabhuji?
Vidura knew the strength of Bhima. Whenever Bhima was on the battlefield, his steps on the path and the wonderful playing of his club were unbearable for them. Powerful Bhima did not take steps against the sons of Dhritarashtra for a long time. Vidura's inquiry was whether he had yet released his anger, which was like that of a suffering cobra.
Yeah. Kachit Yashoda Ratayutapanam
Kachit Yashodharatayutapanam
Gandiva Dhanvo Paratar Riraste
Gandiva Dhanvo Paratariraste
Alakshito Yacharakuta Gudho
Alakshitaya Charakuta Gudho
Maya Karato Girisastutosha.
Maya Kirato Girishastutosa.
Please tell me whether Arjuna, whose bow bears the name Gandiva and who is always famous amongst the chariot warriors for vanquishing his enemies, is doing well. He once satisfied Lord Shiva by covering him with arrows when Shiva came as an unidentified false hunter. So one time, no, he's just inquiring about Arjuna, because Arjuna is very powerful warrior on the side of Pandavas. So he's just and he he knows that he's very strong and will be victorious. So he's inquiring about him, and he's just informing about his capacity to please Lord Shiva. Once upon a time, Lord Shiva, I think we can read here. Lord Shiva tested Arjuna's strength by picking a quarrel with him over a hunted boar. So Lord Shiva claims that the boar is mine, even though it was attacked by Lord Arjuna. So in that war of words, Lord Shiva confronts Arjuna to fight with him in bow and arrow, and immediately Arjuna picks the bow and you know arrests Lord Shiva in a avalanche of arrows. So Lord Shiva is extremely pleased by his rivalry, and so he blesses him with Pashpatasra. So he confronted Arjuna in the false dress of a hunter, and Arjuna covered him with arrows until Lord Shiva was satisfied with Arjuna's fighting. He offered Arjuna the Pashupati weapon and blessed him. Here, Vidura inquired about the great warrior's well-being. Yeah. Yama utasvet tanayau prithaya
Yama utasve tanayo prithaya
Pardhay vritau paksham akshinaiva
Arthai vritau pakshambhir akshinaiva
Re mata uddhaya mridhe swariktam
Matha uddhaya mridhe swariktam
Parat suparnau iva vajri vaktrat.
Gurat sabarnam eva vajrivakrat.
Please read.
All the twin brothers were protected by their brothers doing well. Just as the eye is always protected with the eyelid, they are protected with the son of Pratha, who snatched back their rightful kingdom from the hands of their enemy Duryodhana. Just as Garuda snatched nectar from the mouth of Indra, the thunderbolt carrier.
Yeah. This is talking about Nakula and Sahadeva, the two twin brothers of the sons of Madri, the second wife of Maharaj Pandu. If you look at how Dhritarashtra refers to Pandavas in the first verse, or wherever in lot of verses in Mahabharata, he always refers to sons of Pandu as separate from Kauravas. In fact, Pandavas as well as Kauravas are Kauravas only. They are the Kaurava dynasty. But he always seen them as separate sons of Pandu. Me, Kauravas, and so he only used to refer his own sons as Kauravas. So he's always partial. But if you look at how um, Kunti Maharani raised the five sons, even though the two sons, the younger sons, were born for Madri, she never saw them as separate than her own sons. She always treated as if she had five children equally. They never see, even not only that time, like generally, in forest, they're all gone for forest for almost 14 years when they have nothing but each other. It's easy to be friendly and support each other, to protect each other. Not only that, when they got their kingdom back, each of them was a great king again. They were all reinstated, they were all ruling various cities. After that, when they have riches also, they were equally united. That is, you won't understand the character of a person when he doesn't have anything. But when he was given something, some position or power or money or whatever, then you will see the real character of the person. So these Pandavas, when they have retained their kingdom, uh, um, the kingdom of Bharat, again they were equally united as much as they were before they were in the forest. So and they were always equal to each other. They were never partial. The Kunti's sons were never partial to Madri's son. Madri's son were never, uh, they never thought they are distinct from their other three brothers. Yeah, yeah. So and these brothers were protected by sons of Pritha or Kunti. Right? These are younger ones, so naturally they are protected. So that's how their family was.
Similarly, Duryodhana was as strong as the king of heaven. Still, the son of Pritha, the Pandavas, were able to snatch away their kingdom from Duryodhana. Both Garuda and the Parthas are pet devotees of the Lord, and thus it was possible for them to face such strong enemies. Vidura's inquiry was about the youngest brothers of the Pandavas, namely Nakula and Sahadeva. These twin brothers were sons of Madri, the stepmother of the other Pandavas. But although they were stepbrothers, because Kunti took charge of them after the departure of Madri with her husband Maharaj Pandu, Nakula and Sahadeva were as good as the other three Pandavas, namely Yudhishthira, Bhima, and Arjuna. The five brothers are known in the world as regular brothers. The three elder Pandavas took care of the younger brothers, just as the eyelid take care of the eye. Vidura was anxious to know whether, after winning back their own kingdom from the hands of Duryodhana, the younger brothers were still living happily under the care of the elder brothers.
Yeah. So we can see the brotherhood between the sons of Pritha and sons of Madri.
So Garuda and the Parthas, so are they are the incarnation of these two brothers, stepbrothers?
No, no, no. Garuda, there was a time when Indra was drinking Amrit and Garuda snatched away.
Okay.
Garuda, who is the servant of Lord Vishnu,
Okay.
the his vehicle. Yeah. So he's just like Garuda, who is a pure devotee of Lord, has the power to even snatch away the Amrit from the hand of Indra, who is a very powerful king. Similarly, Pandavas, even though they had no, in a way, like they're the weak part, they're the weaklings in the war. Of course, they have the support of Krishna. Because of the support of Krishna, they are able to win over the very strong enemies called Kauravas. And that's what the comparison is. Because
Okay.
of God's support.
Okay.
Yeah. So Madri and Kunti, they were, married to Pandu. Pandu untimely died at an early age, even though he was the king or the, Chakravarti of the entire kingdom. And when Pandu Maharaj died, all the Madri also died along with him. She put herself in the fire, and she handed over to her two sons to be raised by the Kunti. In fact, Kunti Maharani also want to die, but because of the responsibility to raise the five children, she stayed back. She just was living to raise the children nicely. It's just like service, right? So it's not out of her desire to live. It is just to raise these five children. She stayed back. Otherwise, in those days, um, there is this practice called sati, and a wife would be happy to go part with her husband because that was the culture and that was the stature of the husband as well, right? Today's world that is not practiced, but um, that was there in those days. Yeah, it's and purely for service sake she stayed back, Kunti. So we also can learn, uh, when when we are given a service, we do that as a service. But if we think that I like to do, that's why I'm doing something, that is not really considered a pure service. Um, just like sometimes we are given something and after some time we may be asked to leave. But if we say, hey, I like to do this only and nothing else, then that is like karma. It's not service. Right? So here, like, even though Kunti does not want to live, she was living for the sake of raising the children. Uh, I remember, the story of my spiritual master, Radhana Swami, when he was, young and he was preaching in West in the university's campuses. The preaching was going very well, and hundreds of people would attend his cooking classes and also discourses. But later on, the GPC told him that he should go back to Chowpatty, India, Mumbai, and take care of the center there. That time there is no temple. I mean, there is a temple, but in a very bad shape. Was rodent pest infested, and without a second thought, even though his preaching is flourishing in the West, which is the need of the hour, uh, he stepped down and went there without any attachment. So that is the right attitude for service. That's what we can learn from Kunti, and that's what we can learn from exalted devotees.
Yeah, I think Maharaj was probably the one who actually started the device, Guru Maharaj, in the colleges.
He is the one who.
Yeah.
अहो प्रतापी ध्रियाते रगभक्त करते
अहो पृथापि ध्रियात् भक्ते
राजर्षिवर्येण विनापितेन
राजर्षिवर्येण विना पितेन
यस्त्वेकवीरो धीरतो विजिज्ञे
यस्वेवैक्वीरो धीरतो विजिज्ञे
धनुर्द्वितीया ककुभाश्च चतस्रा
धनुर्द्वितीया ककुभाश्चतस्रा.
Yeah, please read.
O my Lord, is Pratha still living? She lived only for the sake of her fatherless children. Otherwise, it was impossible for her to live without King Pandu, who was the greatest commander and who also conquered the four directions simply with the help of a second bow.
Yeah, we just discussed, right? She lived only for the sake of her fatherless children because she would be happy, She doesn't have to go through all these challenges that a woman in those days, living with this, unsupported Dhritarashtra and his sons, It's 7:30. We'll just read this final verse and leave. Saumya tamada patantam
सौम्या न सोचे तमाधपतान्तं
भ्रात्रे परेताय विदुधु द्रुहेया
भ्रात्रे परेताय विदुद्रोहया
निर्यापितो येन सुहृत्स्वपुर्या
यापितो येन सुहृत्स्वपूर्या
अहं स्वपुत्रान् समन्वर्तेन
अहं सपुत्रान् समानुव्रतेन.
Please read.
O gentle one, I simply lament for him, Dhritarashtra, who rebelled against his brother after death. By him I was driven out of my own house, although I am his sincere well-wisher, because he accepted the line of action adopted by his own sons.
Hmm.
So Vidura was driven out of his own house.
Yeah. So before the war, after Lord Krishna came as a peace messenger to distribute, say, 5 villages to Pandavas and stop this war. That peace mission failed. Even Lord Krishna's peace mission failed. And after that, Dhritarashtra was supportive of his sons, and the sons said, no, we won't give anything to Pandavas. Lord Krishna was, he resigned and went back. And after that, Dhritarashtra inquires his brother, stepbrother, Vidura. And Vidura tells him straight on the face, you are keeping this envious snake like Duryodhana, and you are going against the Supreme Lord. You don't know what you are doing. And it's not good for you and not good for entire dynasty. Better you throw this son out of this home. That's what he just says, Vidura. And to that, like we already read this in the initial verses. At the time, Duryodhana comes, he hears this. He says, "Get out of our kingdom. Who are you? You are son of a kept servant." He basically, insults his father-like figure, Vidura, and throws him out of kingdom as well as of his home. And just Vidura leaves with his dress. That's it, nothing else. So that's why he's saying this. And you can see generally when people are abused like this, they will be worried about their own welfare, right? Generally, we talk from the perspective of my own pain. Hey, how can these people throw me out? I'm living in my home. Okay, throw me out as a minister. He was the prime minister at the time. Throw me out of my position. That's fine. But how can you throw me out of my kingdom? My home and everything. He could have done that. This is how there are many ways to respond to a situation. a devotee like Vidura, he responded as a, you know, there is political response to it. He could have gone to Krishna and complained, or maybe, you know, went to Pandavas and incited them. Hey, these guys did this. Let's take revenge. That's a political response. Like when a situation comes in which you are put in trouble, you can respond politically like that too. But he didn't do that. Instead, he accepted as the will of Lord, will of time, and that is the response of a devotee. He responded. Sometimes you can do politically. It's not like that is absolutely wrong, especially if it is for the protection of a society, or for the greater good of nation or whatever, right? It's a bigger, higher cause than one's own self. One could have reacted in a political way too, or but in this case, it is the whole pain is on him. For personal pain, one can act devotionally. So he took it as a, you know, this is what Krishna wants. Maybe it is better for me to get out of this home and, focus on my spiritual sadhana. And he went around to various pilgrimage sites, and spent many years during this whole world. The war of Kurukshetra, he spent in various pilgrimage sites. So he responded as a devotee, and now he is speaking. In spite of going through all this, and in all this situation, Dhritarashtra remained silent, seeing even though he's witnessing all this injustice upon his brother, who is only his well-wisher. He always was a great well-wisher of Dhritarashtra. And even going through all of that, Dhritarashtra remained silent. Duryodhana kicked him out. He left the place and went out. He's still a well-wisher. That is the character of a devotee. So he's not saying this Dhritarashtra who kicked me out. No, he's not saying like that. He says, I simply lament for him. This is compassion. This is only possible for a devotional heart. And who is Vidura? Vidura is none other than Yamaraj in his previous life. And as Yamaraj, what do? You're constantly doing kind of, judgment, right? That's what you do. Who is right, who is wrong? That's what he was doing all the time.
Yeah, and most of the time he always talk about how you should pass away, how you should die, prepare for the death.
Yeah. That was in the 6th canto. But Yamaraj is a pure devotee of Lord, but he's given the job of justice maker for people in the material existence. So he basically rewards or punishes people according to their actions. And as Yamaraj, he was always doing that. It was his official position. But here, and as Yamaraj, he was there for almost all his many millions of years. And how long was he there as a Vidura? Just for a period of say 100 200 years during the Mahabharata. It's like a small shortest transit period, right? It's a very short term. But he didn't change his nature. When he was in the position of Vidura, a very lowly position for someone like Yamaraj, being son of a maid servant, uh, in a way Shudra, but he could shift his consciousness completely as a pure devotee here, right? He was always a pure devotee, but by his nature he was always judgmental, arising out of his duty. For us, for example, if you have a busy office day and lot of meetings, and manager is upset with you and all, you come home and you show all that, what I'm trying to say is, Vidura was Yamaraj, and all his life he was doing judgment, but when he's here, for a short transit of say 100, 200 years, he left that nature and he's completely, acting as a pure devotee. He just was forgiving and, still very compassionate. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. By him, I was driven out of my house, although I am his sincere well-wisher, because he accepted the line of action adopted by his two sons, by his own sons. Such a compassionate soul. That is why Vidura is a Mahajan. He is Yamaraj. As Yamaraj, he is a Mahajan. Greatest personalities who know the codes of bhakti. Vidura did not ask about the welfare of his elder brother because there was no chance of his being well-being. One will face reactions according to his one's actions. Vidura, up until now, he was inquiring about Kunti Maharani, Pandavas, sons of Krishna, and Yadus, and everyone. But when it comes to his own brother, Dhritarashtra, he's not asking all of that. Right? Because he knows the people who do wrong, they're on the path towards hell. There is no, yeah. By him, although I am his sincere well-wisher, because he accepted the line of action adopted by his sons. Yeah. So he didn't inquire about his well-being, only news of his gliding down to hell. Vidura was a sincere well-wisher for Dhritarashtra and he had a thought about him in the corner of his heart. He lamented that Dhritarashtra could rebel against his sons of his dead brother Pandu and that he could drive him out of his own house on the dictation of his crooked sons. In spite of these actions, Vidura never became an enemy of Dhritarashtra, but he continued to be his well-wisher. And at the last stage of Dhritarashtra's life, it was Vidura only who proved to be his real friend. If you remember, towards his last stages, Dhritarashtra, Vidura comes again and recommends him to get out of the home and go to forest and spend rest of his life in meditation. So at that time, finally Dhritarashtra, at least at the end of his life, towards the end of his life, he hears Vidura's suggestion and he leaves home and perfects his life. Such is the behavior of a Vaishnava like Vidura. He desired all good even for his enemies. This is the character of a devotee. This is how we should all take lessons from Vidura's life. Okay? So we'll end the class here. We have temple program now. We'll go there. Okay? Hare Krishna. Thank you very
Hare
much.
Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you.